Dear Patriots, before the news starts, please subscribe to our patriotic channel by clicking the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up to this video. Don't forget to leave your opinion below in the comments section. Share the news on Facebook and Twitter so you friends see it. Thank you.
Hillary Clinton on Vegas shooting. Let's put politics aside and ban silencers. Hillary Clinton is back to being her dishonest self in the wake of the deadly Las Vegas shooting. After the deadliest shooting in recent history, Hillary said we should all come together and put politics aside. However, the very next word in her sentence was politics. Our grief isn't enough. We can and must put politics aside, stand up to the NRA, and work together to try to stop this from happening again, tweeted Hillary Clinton. Put politics aside? Stand up to the NRA? Is she a total idiot? That's not all she tweeted. She also tweeted a dangerous misinformation. Las Vegas, we are grieving with you, the victims, those who lost loved ones, the responders, and all affected by this cold-blooded massacre, she tweeted. The crowd fled at the sound of gunshots. Imagine the deaths if the shooter had a silencer, which the NRA wants to make easier to get. There is a huge problem with this. For one, if someone uses a fully automatic gun, the silencer would melt. And two, silencers don't make the gun completely silent like in movies. But liberals seem to only know about movies. The silencer moves the sound away from the shooter's ear as to stop the shooter from going deaf. It doesn't destroy the sound completely. You would still be able to hear the gun. People were quick to attack Hillary on Twitter. Because nothing says grief of the nation like taking cheap political shots at the NRA, tweeted one user. CNN reporter just told Trump to shut up on air. CNN, the original 24-hour television news channel, has been working around the clock attempting to spread a narrative about President Donald Trump that he is racist against Latinos and has not been doing enough to help the island of Puerto Rico following the destruction caused by Hurricane Maria. The liberal-biased news network has been getting as much mileage out of the slanted words of San Juan's Mayor Carmen Cruz, who sharply criticized the federal government and mainland Americans for how they are supposedly not helping Puerto Ricans. Commented Cruz during a CNN appearance, "Well, maybe from where she's standing it's a good news story. When you're drinking from a creek, it's not a good news story. When you don't have food for a baby, it's not a good news story. When you have to pull people down from buildings, I'm sorry, that really upsets me and frustrates me." CNN's hosts and commentators have been playing their parts perfectly as well, with so-called Republican Ana Navarro going so far as to say on the network's show State of the Union, "Look, the President of the United States is the biggest fish in this structure, right? He's got the biggest bully pulpit of all. And if he wants unity of command, even if he thinks he's being maligned by the mayor of San Juan, he's got to shut up." She continued disparaging America's president in this same coarse way, stating, "And the reason he's got to shut up is because he is in a gold-inlaid golf course right now while she is wading through water up to her chest. And so if nothing else, the optics look terrible. Do you think that Hannah needs to come out and admit that she is paid to spout liberal talking points?" Mayor from neighboring city slams angry San Juan mayor, proves that she's lying. The liberal media has been feeding Americans a false, politically motivated narrative where Republican President Donald Trump failed in hurricane relief efforts after Hurricane Maria and is thus at fault for the continued troubles residents of Puerto Rico are having in trying to rebuild their island. San Juan's Mayor Carmen Cruz set off this baseless line of attack against Trump by saying, "We are dying here. And I cannot fathom the thought that the greatest nation in the world cannot figure out the logistics for a small island of 100 miles by 35 miles. So, Mayday, we are in trouble." Liberals took her words as the call to hunting season against Trump, going so far as to call the Hurricane Maria response Trump's Katrina and say that he is racist against people of Latino heritage because the help he provided was allegedly not as good as the help he gave to Texas and Florida, two states with significant Hispanic populations. Thankfully, Mayor Cruz's voice is not the only one in Puerto Rico. Angel Perez is the mayor of Guaynabo, a city that borders San Juan, and he provided a very different take on President Trump's work that completely contradicts Cruz's. Said Mayor Perez about Mayor Cruz's attacks against Trump, "I don't know why she is saying that. She is not participating in any meetings. We had a couple already with the governors and with representation of FEMA and of HUD, these whole federal agencies that have given us help. We are receiving assistance from FEMA. I got people over here helping us with applications for the people that have damage in their houses. Are you glad this other mayor in Puerto Rico is setting the record straight about San Juan's off-base mayor?" "I don't see people dying," Geraldo calls out San Juan mayor to her face for lying. San Juan, Puerto Rico's Mayor Carmen Yulín Cruz recently made a bold and colorful statement about the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Rebutting Acting Homeland Security Secretary Elaine Duke's assertion that Puerto Rico relief efforts are a good news story, Mayor Cruz said to Elaine, "I would ask you to come down here and visit the towns and then make a statement like that, because frankly, it is an irresponsible statement in contrast with the statements of support that I have been getting yesterday when I got that call from the White House. Damn it, this is not a good news story. This is a people are dying story. It's a life or death story." This is a powerful claim indeed, but unfortunately it is not accurate. Fox News' Geraldo Rivera recently traveled to Puerto Rico to assess the devastation done by Hurricane Maria with his own eyes. While observing that the damage is considerable, Rivera did not see anybody actually dying. He then confronted Cruz directly over her gross mischaracterization of the facts. Said Mayor Cruz to Geraldo when he interviewed her, "There are all people at all municipalities literally starving, dehydrating. We have had our hospital try to go back to speed but then the electricity goes off and we have to do all the bacteria testing, which takes 3 to 4 days." He cut Carmen off and inquired bluntly, "But are people dying?" He continued, "I've been traveling around, I don't see people dying. I spoke to the doctors, they say they saw 53 patients and they had a person who was septic, but nobody dying." Caught off guard, Mayor Cruz had to eat her words and make up a new definition on the spot of what dying means. Explained Carmen, "Dying is a continuum. If you don't get fed for 7, 8 days and you're a child, you are dying. If you have 11 people, like we took out of a nursing home, severely dehydrated, you are dying." Are you glad Rivera made Mayor Cruz be more truthful about what is really happening in Puerto Rico? Geraldo gets Trump's back on Puerto Rico, slams libs for politicizing tragedy. Many liberals have been attacking President Trump for how they believe that he is not doing enough to help people in the island territory of Puerto Rico in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria. Some liberals, stooping to the lowest tricks in the liberal playbook, are even saying that Trump is supposedly not helping Puerto Ricans enough because he is racist against Hispanics. Thankfully, Fox News' Geraldo Rivera, who has been reporting from the ravaged island, struck back and defending the way President Trump has been handling the relief efforts just as he did after Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma. Dependably biased Democratic Congressman Ted Lieu kicked things off by tweeting about the tragedy, in place of helping, more evidence that real Donald Trump was derelict in his duty to protect U.S. citizens in Puerto Rico. He was more interested in bashing the NFL. Shot back Rivera at Rep. Lieu, "On the ground I see the suffering, but feel deeply that attacking at real Donald Trump for the ravages of nature and neglect is politicizing tragedy." He continued, bringing the discussion back from liberals' attacks on Trump to harsh reality. "What we really need, if this slice of America is to be saved from sliding into the third world, is a massive effort on the scale of the Marshall Plan that rebuilt Europe from the chaos, ashes and destruction of World War II. He added, "Call it the Trump Plan, if that's what it takes, brand it like your impressive buildings and hotels. However it is to be accomplished, it needs to be done, so that decades from now children here will be taught how the president representing the American people came to the rescue of our fellow citizens in crisis." Are you glad Rivera shot back at liberals who are attempting to use this tragedy for their own political gain? NBA just sent basketball players a harsh warning if they don't stand for the anthem. The NFL has done significant, possibly permanent damage to its brand by coming to the support of its players who have been protesting during the national anthem before games. Recently, well-known NBA stars including Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors and LeBron James of the Cleveland Cavaliers have also taken to the media to try to attack President Donald Trump for chastising the protesting football players. With the NBA season close at hand, the league is clearly worried that its players and coaches may decide to follow suit and protest the national anthem. To make sure that these players did not damage the league in the same way the NFL got damaged, the heads of the NBA just sent all players and coaches a stern reminder that they are required to remain standing during the anthem. Said NBA Commissioner David Silver this past week, "We have a rule that requires our players to stand for the anthem. It's been a rule for as long as I've been involved with the league, and my expectation is that our players will continue to stand for the anthem." Silver followed up his remarks by having Deputy Commissioning Mark Tatum release a memo to every single NBA team. In the memo, Tatum warned that the league office will determine how to deal with any possible instance in which a player, coach, or trainer does not stand for the anthem. He also stated that the individual teams do not have the discretion to waive the NBA's clearly stated rule. Are you glad the NBA is clamping down in advance on basketball players who might protest? CNN reporter: At least a lot of the shooting victims were Trump supporters. Over 59 people were killed and 527 were injured during the shooting in Las Vegas. But according to CNN, many of them were Trump supporters, so it's all good. The shooter took aim at a country music festival, and country music fans are more likely to be Republican than Democrat. Something else, I think, to keep in mind: a lot of these country music supporters are likely Trump supporters. This is something, of course, hitting the tapestry of all Americans, and there are going to be victims from across the country here, said CNN's Jeff Zeleny. CNN is notoriously anti-Trump and sides with Hillary. Hillary has called Trump supporters deplorables. So why is he bringing up the fact that these are Trump supporters? Why did he think it was a relevant thing to say? One CBS executive was way more blunt and straightforward with his opinion. "If they wouldn't do anything when children were murdered, I have no hope that Republicans will ever do the right thing. I'm actually not even sympathetic. BC country music fans often are Republican gun toters," wrote CBS's top legal executive Haley Jeffs Gold on a deleted Facebook post. "We all knew they hated Trump supporters, but their hatred is becoming scary. You would think that after a tragedy like this we would at least all agree that the shooting was a bad thing.